keeping buildings safe. Paramedics.
You don't belong to me anymore, it seems. I'm all alone in my dreams. I just feel so weak. No one knows the pain I see when I'm all alone. Now that you're gone, my world is cold, my friends are gone. Without you here, my joy seems cruel. When you left, you took part of me. What can I do? Tell me, baby, it's you that I need. Baby, it's you that I need. I'm lonely, yes. It's you that I need. Come on back, come back. Something's wrong with me. You in my life, my mystery, baby. How could you do this to me? You left me holding on to a memory. Oh, I tried to be good, to bring you to a place no others come. I suddenly woke and found you gone. You were gone. Now I see my heart and something's happened to me. My life, my destiny. My life will never ever be complete. Come back to me. Baby, 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 it's you that I need. Baby, it's you that I need. No, nobody but you. It's you that I need. Come back. It's you that I need. It's you that I need. Come on back, babe. It's you that I need. Come back. It's you that I need. Oh, it's you, babe. It's you that I need. All I need, it's you. It's you that I need. I'm coming to you, wanna touch home. Good loving, gotta touch home. When you get it, you got to. So don't hurry, 'cause I'm coming. I'm a soul. I'm a soul man. I make it better each and every day. Slow man, don't you think? Cause you ain't seen nothing in the house. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. I went out of love before I knew educated. I would stop. When I started loving, I can't stop. I was so mad. I was so mad. Yes, I am. I was so mad. I was so mad. What's that about? Ooh, I put you in. Oh, now you hope and be a holy boy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Talking about a soul man. Soul man. Don't you need a soul man? Soul man. Got to have a soul man. I'm a soul man. Don't you want a soul man? Yes. I'm a soul man. Got to be a soul man. I gotta be a soul man. I wanna be soul man. So baby, so baby,
Wow. I'm a soul man. I'm a soul man. You know something? I do not know why this thing would not let me share the video. It was funny watching Sam and Dave do their thing. You ought to see the Caucasian people in the audience. They all offbeat. I'm a soul man. The Caucasian people are all offbeat. Oh man. Soul man. That's what we are. Oh yeah, no doubt about it. We are. I'm a soul man looking like a black Muslim today. But you can be a black Muslim You could be a Hebrew Israelite or more. You can be committed, but you can still have soul. And I am your brother, Angel 777. Of course, this is the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry, and I am live. Let me set this up like y'all know. Yeah, let me set this up. And I am live. Mims is in the house. Welcome to my home, Mims. I first want to get started properly. Let me do my little thing real quick, giving honor to those who came before us. In the name of our ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program. Wherever you may find me on social media, I am known as the mighty Angel Snup 7, and I am your soul brother, number one. With that said, before I continue, I would like to give a moment of silence for the latest tragedy in our soul community, the loss of our young brother, 20-some years old. I believe it was in Sacramento, California. Just lost his life due to a mistake by the police, as usual. Our young brother, Stephen Clark. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we will definitely miss your being among us, Brother Stefan. And surely you was an asset to us as far as we know. They can't find nothing bad to say. They could even say that you had a weapon, only a cell phone. For me, these things that continue over and over again, it gets to the point where you can't even shed tears because it's like it's expected. It's a way of life. This is the norm. And I want to speak to us today because if this is the norm, if this is the norm, you don't want to change this. Certainly, we have a sincere problem. I want to offer us, we always talking about solutions. Well, I want to offer a solution. And I want to offer this solution, this message to our brother, known as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, the incredible and powerful Fruit of Islam, and of course, the MGT. I'm directing this message to one of our most strongest organizations ever produced among us, because they are in a strategic position. They are in a position that could actually get this done very quickly if the people, see, I don't care what you want, if the people don't want it, just like drugs. You can't sell people cocaine unless they want it. You can't sell people marijuana unless they want it. They must want freedom, justice, and equality, the liberation from an oppressor. If they do not want it, there's nothing I can say, there's nothing the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan can say, or anyone that can say that can change that reality. You can speak to you black and blue or green or polka dot or whatever in the face. That's not going to change that reality. But hopefully, I hope that we want better. If not for ourselves, the babies that we claim that we love, the children that we bear, and we want a better future for them. So we want to try to leave things a little better for them than it was for us, like those who came before us. The reason why I can speak the way I speak and do what I do and have the privileges that I have is because of those who came before me. So as an adult, I feel it is my responsibility to do whatever I can to make that journey easier for those who come after me. Hopefully, maybe it won't be so hard and difficult like the walk that I had to take. So again, I want to send this message to the soul community, to this soul nation, but specifically to the Nation of Islam, our brother, Minister Louis Farrakhan, and those who support and follow his leadership. Now, I want you, for those who are listening and those who will listen later, please do me a favor because this is very, very important. I need your feedback. I want to hear your voice, even if it's just to say, right on. Even if it's just to say, Negro, you is out of your dang mind. You is crazy. Whatever your opinion, I want to hear it. Write it down. Put it in the comments. Put it in the chat room. Let me hear your voice. And then, especially if you agree with this message, you got to get this message out to our people because this is a reality. This is not some feel-good stuff that I want to present to us. It can make you feel good, but not only is it plausible, but it is possible, again, if we want it. Bear with me, y'all. I dressed a little sharp for you. For the minister, for those who follow the minister, for my soul people today, because you deserve it. You deserve somebody clean cut and respectable and somebody that dress up just for you. You deserve it. Some of us act crazy sometimes, but you know, you deserve it. You've done nothing to deserve the hell that we've been going through, going on for the last 500 years. I want to take my time. Bear with me now. If you can't really listen to me, just cut the video off right now. Go somewhere else because I might take a little time here. I want to present this to us. We always talking about the solutions, answers. Well, I'm going to present this. And I truly feel it can work. There's no reason why it can't work. I want to talk to Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Honorable Brother Minister Louis Farrakhan. I want to say this. Do we really want, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, do we really want freedom, justice, and equality? Because if you truly want freedom, justice, and equality, there's a price to be paid. There is a sacrifice. There is suffering. There is no really running around in a suit looking pretty when you're fighting for freedom, justice, and equality. In fact, the ultimate price, of course, as you know, could be your very life. Are we ready? Are we willing? And do we truly want freedom, justice, and equality? Do you know what equality is? Equality is, I have one bow tie. You have one bow tie. We are equal. If I have two bow ties, now it's unequal. Do you truly want, and I don't care who you are, I don't care if you're the president, I don't care if you're a minister, I don't care who you are. Equality means the president, the minister, or whoever big shot title you think that you have one bow tie just like I do. Your house is no bigger than my house. Are you sure you want freedom, justice, and equality? Everybody the same? Are you sure you want that? Because there are many of us even in our small capacity, we sort of like being a little better than somebody else. And you know why, sir? Because I work harder, so I deserve more. I'm smarter, so I deserve more. I'm bigger, I deserve more. Many of us have that type of mentality. So you do not want freedom, justice, and equality. And those under you, you want them to praise you and you want them to serve you. That's not freedom, justice, and equality when somebody else is serving you, when we should be serving each other. So if I have one bow tie and you don't have nothing, then I'm obligated, and as you being my brother or sister, I want to make sure that you have a bow tie too. See, many of us don't want freedom, justice, and equality. We're not real. And many of you are experts on hypocrisy, and that's being very hypocritical. I, and this ministry, represents freedom, justice, and equality, no doubt. Have you ever seen animals in a cage? I'm pretty sure you have. Many of you have had aquariums and you have the little fish running around and it's time to clean the tank and all the fish trying to run, or you're trying to clean a pen with a lot of animals in it and all the animals take off trying to run because they don't want to leave their home. You only want to clean the pen or the aquarium. And then the fish, they huddle in a corner somewhere trying to get away. That's their safe haven. That's a place where they think they can find relief from what is going on. The so-called Negro, the African Americaners, whatever you want to call ourselves today, we have been in this nation going on 500 years. And our extreme problem being in this cage is that we've no safe haven. Even the slave, it was possible back in the day, they tried to find a safe haven. The Underground Railroad, they would get on a train or a stagecoach, however, go up under whatever they done in order to find a safe place they could go to. However, in modern times, we have no safe haven. So we are easy victims for those who come to clean the cage. You understand? We need a safe haven. So if we are being murdered in California, if we're being lynched in Tennessee, is there any place that we can go where we can feel safe? Right now, there is no place. It's a possibility that no matter where a dark-skinned person goes in this nation, there's a big possibility, and the percentage is high, that we could end up, especially if you are a young, dark-skinned, young soul brother like Stephon Clark. The odds are against you that you might end up being a victim of police racism, or let us not forget, you could be murdered by your own people, those of whom they say are your own people. We are not a people, because if we were a people, there would be a certain amount of love. And people, we don't run around murdering each other because of that love, because when I see you, I see myself. So why would I pull a trigger on myself? That's like committing suicide. But since I don't see you as myself, and that other face that I see has no value to me, it's easy for me to take up a gun or a knife or something of destruction, some weapon of mass destruction, and murder my own. So yes, I must also add that not only do we suffer from being murdered by outside forces, but we have to worry about being murdered by our own. And there's no place we can go to hide. There's no safe haven. We want to talk about the creation of a safe haven. We want to talk about in that creation of that safe haven. Oh, wow. I am so, I am very tired, but also at the same time, I'm happy because I know the possibility. I also have some personal good news in my, my journey to continue to meet my soul sister, Terry Ellis. I can't talk about that right now, but I feel I'm hyped up. I'm hyped up about this conversation. So please give me your feedback. And if you feel worthy or this is something that we could do, then we need to get on the ball and share it. It makes no difference where it comes from. And see, if you are a believer in God, you should know that if it's viable, it must be something that comes from God. You can't be tripping off the vessel that it comes from. If you don't like me, you don't like me, and so you're going to deny your own salvation because you don't like me. That's crazy. You should want to be part of anything and listen to anyone that sounds like they have some type of damn sense that can get us out of this situation once and for all. Aren't you tired of this crap? It's been going on 500 years. How many lifetimes is that? How many times have our ancestors prayed for the end of this madness, this insanity? You with me? Okay. I want to talk to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the mighty FOI. Y'all mighty just like me. Mighty Angel Snup Nup 7, the mighty FOI, and our soul sisters, the MGT. I want to give you just a brief history of myself. Well, you don't need to give a brief history of yourself. All those videos you talk about Farrakhan, negative videos. So you say, or you think. I'll talk about that in just a second. I joined the Nation of Islam in 1981, probably around July or August, in New York City. I forgot actually which borough it was. Brother Maurice X, who is now Dr. Maurice Muhammad, was speaking that day. My original intent coming to New York City, I was an inspiring entertainer. I wanted to sing, I wanted to dance, I wanted to write music, the whole entertainment thing, being inspired by the late and great Michael Jackson. That was my intent. But as many of you know from watching these videos and learning about me, I was introduced to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad at a very young age. Exactly how young I was, I don't remember, I don't know. But I always wanted to be part of the Nation of Islam. So I listened to Brother Maurice X, and as always, the ministers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad are dynamic speakers, very articulate, set that emotion up inside of you, and it rekindled my love for the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And so I decided within the time that Brother Maurice was speaking, I decided that it was more important being 18 years old, it was more important for me to be a fighter in this struggle for liberation than it was to sing and dance and buck shuffle and all that kind of stuff. I already know what that's about. And when Dr. Maurice Muhammad asked the people who wanted to join and help the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, of whom I did not even know who he was at the time, help him rebuild the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I was so happy. Yes, I'm ready to do this. I was told that Professor Griff was also a follower of the teachings of Elijah Muhammad under Minister Farrakhan in the same temple that I joined. I don't remember Professor Griff. I forgot. You know, so many brothers. I don't know if I had. I'm pretty sure I had to know Professor Griff. I don't really remember, because my time in New York City was going to be short, and that's sad. I'm going to talk about that real quick. When I was growing up in the Nation of Islam, during that time, being 18 years old, I must tell the truth. And I give people credit where credit is due. It makes no difference about whether I like you or don't like you or whatever. If that's what you accomplished, if that's what whatever you did of right, I will give you your credit. Whatever you did of wrong, I'm going to tell you the same thing. I'm an equal opportunity person like that. Right or wrong, I'm going to give you your credit. But during the 80s now, let me tell you, being 18 years old, having no real example of manhood around me, when I joined the Nation of Islam was one of the best things, and I don't regret nothing. Because at that time, Minister Louis Farrakhan was one of the strongest voices out there. One of the best examples of manhood, and I know countless people, if you be truthful, you will agree with me. The way he spoke truth to power and was not afraid. Oh man. I was a young man. We had a meeting at the Armory, I believe, in New York City. It was the Armory. And you had the Jewish Defense League or the Anti-Defamation League, whatever them jive time Jews was, whatever. They on the side of the street talking about, who do we want? Farrakhan. How do you want him? We want him dead. Don't come to our side of the street if you know what's best for you, son. Because I know I was getting ready to rip him another butthole. That's just bottom line. Nobody have time for playing. You can holler and scream all you want to on that side of the street. It was Minister Farrakhan and Brother Akbar and the brothers of the FOI that was an example for me, being strong and fearless as they are, that make me who I am today. Watching them stand, watching them take care of business. Nobody takes care of business like the FOI. I haven't seen it. I was a part of the FOI. I know what the FOI is capable of and what the FOI can do, including y'all beautiful sisters. Woo, the MGT. Man, an unstoppable force. Can't do nothing with us. I was so fired up when I first joined the Nation of Islam. The only thing I wanted to do was spread these teachings. I know how Brother Malcolm felt when he first learned and when he first got an opportunity to spread the teachings. He was fired up, didn't want to think. Nothing else was on my mind. I didn't want to hear nothing. Out in the street with the final cause, talking to people, shaking hands. I did not do what y'all do. Lay around, playing on the computer all day long. I was shaking hands. And everybody did not like Muslims. Some people wanted to punch you in your face. You would open a gate and people bring out their dog to bite you. That was funny. It was people in my neighborhood that knew me all their life. But when I became a Muslim and wanted to talk to them about Islam, they would bring the dog out. Don't come in my yard. It's funny. My ultimate goal in my mind at that time, I already made my mind up. I wanted to be the national representative of Minister Farrakhan. That's what I wanted to do. That was my goal. And I was willing to work hard and long and for hours, whatever it took to accomplish that goal. Unfortunately, destiny has other plans. As I continue my journey in the Nation of Islam, as I began to mature, I began to start thinking differently. Which, to be honest, I sort of was different to begin with. Even though I love the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I've always had a problem with religion, the religious belief system. I don't know exactly what was wrong with it, but there was something wrong with religion. I did not like religion anyway. But I liked the brotherhood. I liked the sisterhood. I liked the overall message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the teachings of the Nation of Islam. But again, destiny has other plans. And so, not going into detail because we could be here all night, I just started to become discontent. But you know, like I said, I would not take nothing back. One of the most incredible experiences I've ever had was my first Savior's Day convention. And all the brothers in their uniforms and the sisters dressed in they're all white, and brothers and sisters from all over the country. There was no profane language. There was no smoking weed. Everybody was courteous to one another. That was a wonderful experience, and I hope that continues. With this last Savior's Day and many more to follow. Wonderful experience. I can't say the same thing for the Million Man March. As soon as you come to the Million Man March, you can smell weed. You know, brothers was drinking and smoking. But at least we all gathered at the mall for a specific reason. And I know there are those critics of the Million Man March. There are those who are critics of Justice or Else and so forth. Whatever. We're not talking about then. We're talking about what are we going to do now? What we are going to do now. Not what Farrakhan is going to do, what the Nation of Islam is going to do. What are we going to do now? Especially since you're a critic and you have nothing else to show. You're not doing nothing. If you don't like the Million Man March, then what have you produced? It's simple as that. And that's nothing. This is a we effort. So you should not just rely on Minister Farrakhan or any organization or individual. This is a we problem. Again, do the people really want freedom, justice, and equality? Do you really want that? Because if you do, you are willing to pay the price. What is sad and hurt me so bad is that I have relatives in the Nation of Islam that encouraged me to join Minister Farrakhan. And I was hyped up, and I love New York City. Mind you, these are my biological brothers and sisters. These are my relatives. I was 18 years old, and I was living with my relatives in the New York City area. And they really was getting sick. They didn't like me being around. And I wanted to stay and work in New York. But they was like, we need to send you back to your mama. It's a hurtful thing. When you have, these are not only your biological relatives, these are my brothers and sisters in the Nation of Islam. And they could not tolerate their own biological nephew, known me all my life. They told me, or they pointed me towards the homeless shelter. These are my brothers and sisters, my biological relatives, and they pointed me to the homeless shelter. I could not stay with them. Another FOI could not stay with the MGT FOI. The MGT FOI sent me, pointed me to the homeless shelter. You think that didn't have an effect on how I began to view everything? When I'm looking at brother and sisterhood, these are my relatives, and they are my brothers and sisters in the belief in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and they told me and sent me, wanted to send me to a homeless shelter. Don't judge me. You are not qualified to judge me. You don't know what I've been through. So they put me on an airplane, a jet plane, the fastest way they could get me out of Dodge City, sent me home back to my mama. But I still tried to hang, and I worked with the brothers and sisters in the St. Louis area, St. Louis, Missouri area, for the next 5 or so years. But again, the feeling of discontent and this type of behavior was coming from certain people, especially from the top leadership. I did not see them have real love for the brothers and sisters in the mosque. They was always on this power trip. How do you feel powerful? And sometimes there are only 5 or 6 brothers in the ranks. I'm the captain. Matter of fact, during that period of time, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan took away all titles. There was no minister, there was no captain, there was no lieutenant. And he definitely was not known as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. None of that was going on. The headline of the Final Call newspaper in 1982, I believe, was, "We must first be brothers." You are in no position to judge me. So, as time went on, I just couldn't do it no more. And I was always insubordinate. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave the Fruit of Islam a book called The Meaning of FOI. And in the meaning of FOI, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught me, not Minister Farrakhan, not Malcolm, not no minister. Elijah Muhammad taught me, as a fruit of Islam, I am not a robot. I can think for myself. So why do you have a problem when I think for myself? Answer me this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that you have the right to question his teaching, and when I question the teaching, why do you have a problem? Brother, you turning into a hypocrite? You turning into a disbeliever? What is your problem? I am doing what I was taught. I'm not a damn robot, and I can question the teaching. And if I find something wrong, then it's not me that has the problem. Those who represent the teachings have the problem. I have that right by the man who set the teachings up. So I always was asking questions. I was always, you could have called me insubordinate brother X. I was always insubordinate. But I never was charged. I never was thrown out the temple, kicked out the mosque because I was insubordinate, simply because they saw I was a hard worker. And I guess that saved me, because I was doing the work 24 hours a day. But I asked questions, and sometimes I would tell a brother, I'm not going to do that. I don't feel comfortable with it. I don't think it's in line with the teachings. I'm not doing it. Brother, that's insubordination. I don't care what it is. Here, you can have the bow tie. I'm out of here. So eventually, I left the nation. It was difficult. It was hard. I didn't really want to. And I tried to hang on and off for a few years. And I believe that I finally just cut ties with the Nation of Islam sometime in 1990. So from 1981 to 1990, I was there. So I became like the prodigal son, because in my heart, this is what I wanted to be part of. And you chastise Malcolm for wanting to be part or go back to the nation. That's all he knew. That's all he knew for 12 years. Of course he wanted to go back home. That's all he knew. That's what made him what he was. That's a part of his life. Of course he wanted to come back home. And I wanted to, but I knew I just couldn't do that no more. Then I would be a hypocrite, pretending to be something that I am not. I no longer believe that type of way anymore. At all, period. Not some parts or a little bit of this. I just did not, it just wasn't attractive to me no more. So why be a part? So you have brothers, I'm still your brother, but then you have brothers who don't really believe in brotherhood. You just want to come and be around the brotherhood. They want to try to force you to put on a bow tie again. I said, no, it's not me, man. Why would you want somebody who is telling you, I don't believe that, to be in your ranks? Well, they did it with Wallace. Wallace told, it was very clear, Wallace told everybody, I do not believe in my father's teaching. And they made him the leader. I don't understand your thinking. And then you actually believe you was going to thrive by putting somebody in leadership that did not believe the teachings. What's wrong? Come on. That don't make no sense. So I was wondering, going back and forth and everything. Went to church, which I went to church, and Christian brothers and sisters actually treated me better in the church than they did in the mosque. I never really was able to speak in the temple for whatever reason. I don't know why. I can guess, I can assume, but I really don't know why. But when I went to church, the preacher said, what you want to say, bro? They gave me their rostrum. They gave me their pulpit. Treated me like I was royalty. Every church I went to. I'm pretty sure the Nation of Islam saw value in me, but not like the church. They treated me like royalty, like I was some kind of king. That's a shame, because that which you love don't see your real value. And these other persons that's outside, they always wanted me, brother, you need to be a Christian. Brother, you need to be a Hebrew Israelite. Brother, you need to be a Jehovah's Witness. Everywhere I went, they wanted me, except the place where I really wanted to be. Didn't really see my value. But see, I don't believe that. And I told the preachers and I told the ministers that I met, I was even approached by some brothers and sisters that was in the nation, came to me, why don't you start your own Nation of Islam? You would be in competition with Minister Farrakhan, so what? Well, I didn't like that. And why should I start something that I really don't believe that, really, you know? I don't believe that. So I'm wondering, excuse me, I was playing with this thing here. I'm wondering, and I'm trying to find something to do. Because for years and years and years, the Nation of Islam was my life. All right. So I'm trying to get back. And, you know, there are videos that I make, and I'm very sure there are some of you who know my face and know who I am. The Nation of Islam know who I am. Minister Farrakhan might not remember, but his his international representative, Brother Akbar Muhammad, who was Larry X at the time. I used to work with Larry X almost every day. I went to the temple in 2010, and Brother Akbar, as soon as he recognized me, he said, "Hey, young brother," and we embraced each other like we was old friends, didn't miss a beat. He did not show no type of signs like he didn't like me or nothing like that. It was a wonderful meeting, Brother Akbar. But the sad thing, see, FOI, listen. See, this is the problem with the Nation of Islam for decades. We got this jealousy problem. Y'all do, you got this jealousy problem. See, in 2010, I was going to get that interview with Minister Farrakhan. But there was jealous FOI that did everything they could to keep me away from Minister Farrakhan. Because you could see it in their eyes. Who is this dude coming off the street and he just talking with Brother Akbar like that? Brother Akbar is as close to Minister Farrakhan as you can get. See, what you don't know is, in the early days of the Nation of Islam, that was an all-the-time thing. I was around Minister Farrakhan on many occasions. I was around Minister Farrakhan willing to take a bullet for him. You are in no position to judge me about nothing. In fact, if it was not for my sacrifice, my work, my assistance in helping in that struggle, doing that rebuilding process, you couldn't be where you're at. How many temples did I dedicate? Not only did I dedicate temples, I put the bricks down. I put the cement down. I dust. I clean. You are in no position to tell me about my sincerity. You are in no position to tell me nothing. You are not in a position to judge me at all. That's your problem. Filled with jealousy. You should have been happy that two brothers that have not seen each other in years and years and years come together in a civil manner and be happy to see one another. Jealousy. Because you want to talk to Brother Akbar like that. You want to get close to Minister Farrakhan like that. Here I am off the street, and I was there before you was. They know who I am. They know my family. I don't want to take too long on me. I want to talk about this proposal. This proposal. And, you know, I respect Minister Farrakhan. Has nothing to do with like or dislike. I respect him because he's my elder. I respect him for the good things that he has done throughout the years. In fact, if it was not for Minister Farrakhan, the chance of me talking and speaking to you today probably would not even happen. And that's just the reality of it. And I represent the Reality's temple. I have to tell that truth whether I like it or not, which I don't. It's cool with me. I don't have no problem with it because that's what happened. He's the reason why I'm here. His rebuilding the Nation of Islam is the reason why I decided not to be an entertainer. There are very few people that I actually wanted to meet. Very few. I did want to meet the late and great Michael Jackson. I did. I'm not a fan. I'm not fanatical. I just would like have to met and spoken with Michael, shook his hand, and told him how I admire his music and how he influenced my music that I was trying to do. No more, no less. It has nothing to do with being fanatical. And just recently, I wanted to meet my soul sister, Terry Ellis. And then, to be truthful, I did want to really get close to and speak with Minister Farrakhan, of which I was able to do on several occasions. So I'm wandering in the wilderness, and I decide to try to return to entertainment which I really did not like. I liked it, but I really didn't care for that, really. And in my dealings with certain idiots trying to do that, I end making bad decisions, being hard-headed, being stupid, I ended up being incarcerated. And that incarceration caused a great change. Some people say for the worse. I say for the better. Because that incarceration, many people, when they become incarcerated, they turn to God. The exact opposite happened to me. I turned away. Well, I always question religion, but I actually turned all the way away from God, spirituality, and all that. My mind became liberated. All the things that I thought I knew, I cast them away and started all over from scratch. And there was only one God I was interested in, and that was who I am, me. All these other spirits and gods don't mean nothing to me. I cried out when I was incarcerated. I cried out for Allah. I cried out for Jesus. I cried out for Buddha. I cried out for the devil. Look, Mr. Devil, if you can get me out of here, I will worship the devil. I want out of here. The devil did not show up, unless the devil is the white man, y'all. The devil didn't show up. Allah didn't show up. Jesus didn't show up. I wrote every black organization, including the Nation of Islam, all the black lawyers, the Urban League, the NAACP. I wrote everybody trying to get help. Nobody helped me. No God, no people, no nothing. So I am on my own. You cannot judge me because you didn't help me. When I was locked up, you didn't come to my aid. You only want me because you can use me? You the one with the problem. You only want me around so I can do something for your ass. I'm not going to be used like that. I'm sorry. You better go somewhere else for that. Not going to happen. But that experience changed my whole way of looking at things. And when you are in a situation that we find ourselves in, the descendants of slaves born in America, having dark skin, the people that I call soul, you're going to need a different view, a different way of looking at things, because clearly what we've been doing, even though some of it may have been successful, what we have been doing in the past clearly is not working. We have to try something different. And then you try to do it for a little while. If it's not working, you got to back up and try something different. The way we do the same things over, marches and protests, voting, education, money, all this stuff that y'all doing over and over again, and you're still in the same condition. And you wonder why. When you are in the same condition, doing the same thing over and over again, they call that, and you think that, and you're expecting a different resolve, that is called insanity. When I was locked up and I was fighting these crackers trying to hold me for the rest of my life, they became my for real enemies. These people, because I would not submit to them, they wanted me dead or locked up the rest of my life. And they told me, without their help, I would be locked up the rest of my life. What I am trying to do is impossible. Nobody has been released without their approval in over 100 years. 100 years. Nobody has been released. Well, like they say in religion, well, I'm speaking to you right now. And the devil thought that he had me. He said he was going to lock me up for the rest of my life because it was impossible. Nobody had escaped them in over 100 years. But when you look into God and yourself, amen. Can I get an amen? When I searched to the God of myself and start using my brain, because God gave me a brain. Why don't y'all learn how to use it? Your brain is good for you. Use your brain. Stop reading all these damn books because the books is limited in information according to somebody else's brain. Learn how to use your own brain. I use my own brain, y'all. I use my own brain, and it gave me the solution. And I did not hate the white man. I did not hate the Chinese man. I used whatever man I could get my hands on so they could give the information in their brain so I could learn, so I can develop, so I can find a solution to my problem. And guess what? I'm talking to y'all now because your brother done the impossible. I've done the impossible on an individual level. I've done the impossible. Nobody ain't done that in 100 years. Well, family, the winning streak is over. The 100-year drought is over. Let the rain fall because I'm bringing in the thunder. Woo, don't you love it? Man, do you know how I felt when you see your enemies crumble at your feet? Do you know how it feels when you see the sadness and look like they're getting ready to cry? When your enemies lose. Here I am, one little guy fighting the state of Missouri, using the tools that they created and beat them at their own game. We can do the same thing, y'all. Well, woo, Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. If you want to praise Jesus, do it. If you want to praise Allah, whoever you want to give credit, but use your brain. That's what I've done. That's what it's going to take. Use your brain. Your brain is flexible. It is you who keeping your brain and your thinking process rigid. That's not going to work in our situation. We have to have our brains able to be flexible. You have to stop thinking in these rigid forms of thought. They say in the chat room, I think our positive voice is capable of generating waves of healing and balance. Yes. Yes. Hey, Veronica, how you doing? Welcome to church. I'm taking my time today. Got my little water here. And that's enough about me. I just wanted to give you a little background on myself, because really it's a long story. I try to make it short as possible, but I just want folks to know you can't judge me. You don't know what I've been through. And you don't know, since you did not create me, you did not make me, but God did. You don't know what plans God had for me at all. You're in no position to judge me at all. I respect the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I respect the FOI. Ooh, and the beautiful MGT. Wow. Just thinking about MGT. Oh, wow. I'm sorry, Terry. See, Terry Ellis is not an MGT. In a way, yes, you are, sister. And, you know, I want to say this, too. Now, I'm wearing the FOI, the Nation of Islam. That's how we dress. Technically, I'm still a FOI, whether you like it or not. I am a child of Elijah Muhammad, whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. Elijah Muhammad is my daddy, just like he is of yours. And there are people, that's where I come from. There are people who talk about the hand signs. I don't know what hand signs you talk about. When most people begin to talk, they just move their hands. I am not a Mason. I don't know nothing about Masonry. None of that crap. I don't know nothing about it. I was taught in the Nation of Islam that this bow tie represents wings. See, it's like the shape of a wing. If it was big, put it on your back, it'd be like wings. Because we are angels to our people. I'm an angel. This is Angel Snup Nup 7 channel. I am Angel Snup Nup 7. I am an angel. So all that masonry stuff, the signs with the hands, I was gonna make a sign with my hand, but that'll be sort of profane. And you tell me what Mason that sign represents. Oh man. Oh. Is God in the house? I think God is, but it's not the type of God y'all thinking about. And even so, God gave us a brain. We refuse to use it. We want to listen to other people. If you listen to other people all the time, there's nothing wrong with listening to other people. But when you begin to depend on them to think for you and you don't want to use your brain, you are doing your own self a disservice because you might have the answer. You look into somebody else for the answer and you had it all the time. Just like the story of Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. She's going everywhere. I want to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Da, 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 da. And then come to find out the wizard was just an ordinary person. He didn't have no power. And Dorothy had the power to go home all the time. She didn't have to go find the Wiz, the Oz, whatever his name is. The Wizard of Oz. The power she was looking for, the power she was looking for somebody else, she had it all the time. Man, think for yourself. Use this for a change. Like my teacher told us when I was little, put on your thinking cap. Now I want to leave that and bring the proposal that I would like to say and present to Brother Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. And why do you want to approach the Nation of Islam? Because the Nation of Islam, whether y'all like it or not, is the smartest, the most intelligent, the most organized, the most disciplined, the most influential group that we have in this country at this time. Call me a lie. Minister Farrakhan in 1995 called 1 million men to Washington, D.C., and he got 2 million. Who else since that time has done that? Nobody. Well, you see, yeah, but Farrakhan, it don't make no difference. Who cares about the past? We're talking about the now. If Brother Farrakhan, if you really want to leave something on the map and you will never be forgotten in prosperity, I'm going to offer you a proposal. And if we, not you, not just the Nation of Islam, if we can pull this off, woo, let me tell y'all something. Are y'all ready to go? Are y'all ready to get on the soul train? Choo, 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 choo. Are y'all ready? You ready to get on the soul train? Okay. Let me get a little drink. Here we go. What I want to present to us is very simple, yet complex. And the complexity comes simply as you just don't want to do nothing. That's what makes it complex. That's what makes it technical, because really it's simple. Minister Farrakhan was talking about in one of his speeches, he was talking about a little boy was teaching him. And he was proud, Minister Farrakhan, you was proud to say that this little boy was teaching you something because he was teaching you something about ants. And this is the reality's temple on earth. My teacher is nature. My teacher is the listening to the subconscious mind. So this little boy was teaching you about ants. I'm gonna give you an example. Ants are one of the most successful life forms on this planet. Ants can be found on every continent except Antarctica. You know why? Because it's too dang cold and the ground too dang hard to be trying to drill through, and you don't have no real resources in Antarctica. But everywhere else, you're going to find some kind of ant. Ants are well-disciplined. Ants are smart. Ants are intelligent. Ants are organized. Ants are unified. That makes them some bad mama jamas. Now look, I was watching one of those nature programs, and this big centipede, okay, this bottle is the centipede. This big centipede was rolling around, and these ants start coming. Now, look how big this centipede compared to a little ant. I wish I had something to compare the sizes, but we don't. Now, one ant can't do nothing. One ant can't do nothing with this centipede. However, when the ants worked as a team, these little small ants took down this large millipede, this big caterpillar-looking thing. Oh, wow. See, let's learn from the ant. I want you to keep that story in mind when thinking about the ant. See, look, your oppressor, woo, your oppressor is like that millipede. But if you work as a team, and look at this, I'm going to combine this with something. How many of you have ever taken martial arts? Raise your hand. Wing Chun, what'd you say? Wing Chun Kung Fu, you took that? Okay, that's cool. Karate, okay. Now, anybody in martial arts know when somebody gripped your hand, what's the first thing that you do to break the grip? You do not attack the whole hand. Use your whole hand against their thumb, against one of the fingers, because your whole hand is stronger than one of their fingers or their thumb. That's what you grab, and you break the grip. You break the grip by twisting against the weakest part of their hand. See what I'm saying? So see, if the United States of America is this caterpillar, if this United States of America is the hand that's keeping you entrapped, you don't try to fight. See, that's what we've been trying to do. We always talk about the United States government. You are not strong enough. You are not in a position to do anything to the United States government. However, however, see, I really don't like coming out like this, y'all. I really don't, because when I was fighting them crackers, when I was locked up, you should always have the element of surprise. Let them wonder about what you're going to do. Always have the element of surprise on your side. But in this situation, you know how we are. We're not brotherly. I can't make a telephone call. Can I come to Chicago and speak to Minister Farrakhan? Some of these brothers and sisters, I write them emails all the time. They don't want nothing to do with me. You can't talk to them. So the only way that they're going to listen is you got to make a video. You have to talk out in the public. That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame. But unfortunately, that's a reality. But it's all right, because if you do it right, when I made my move on those devils when I was locked up, it didn't make no difference whether they knew or didn't know. They weren't going to stop my activity because I was just that good. And if you think, see, it goes back to using your brain. Let your brain sit back, turn off the lights a little bit, stop thinking about somebody's panties, stop thinking about somebody's underwear, stop thinking about all these crazy stuff, things that we do. Sit back, concentrate. How am I going to get this? How am I going to do this? Stop thinking about getting high, getting drunk. Think about how I have an enemy. I have a millipede. How am I going to beat this fella? That's the way you have to think. Because I'm not strong like this cat. I don't have the power. But clearly, he can be taken down. Now, so what are you going to propose? Keep in mind what I just said, brothers and sisters. Y'all there? Okay. Now, I have not done full research. I'm just going by the way things look. Again, this is simple yet complex. I haven't done the research. That's where the Nation of Islam comes in. Because the Nation of Islam, and many of you, y'all good at research. Y'all good at research. Y'all good at fact finding. So let's get the facts. Let's get this together. Let's see if it really is plausible. Let's see if it really is possible. I think that it is. I don't think it's necessary. It's good to get the facts so we know exactly what we're dealing with. This is a nationwide effort. The nation, it don't take all of us, but a nice percentage. If a nice percentage of us support this activity, woo, man, look. Brother, get to it, man. I'm excited. What you gonna say? Here we go. Look. This is what I propose. I say that it don't necessarily have to be this state. I'm looking at the state of Mississippi. I heard through the grapevine, and I was talking to my assistant minister, and we was talking about the state of Mississippi. It's one of the poorest states in the union. Nobody don't really talk about the state of Mississippi. Now, the reason why I'm looking at the state of Mississippi is because it's supposed to have a very large African-American soul brother and sister population. This is what I propose. Oh, man. This is what I propose. I say that we start a campaign, and you have to look at this as a military operation, because really that's what it is. It's a military operation, but we're not using guns. We're not using tanks. We're not using none of that type of stuff. We're using what is available to us by law under the United States government. You're going to use the laws and the policies that they gave us. All right? This is what we have to do. Since we already have a vast majority of soul brothers and sisters in the state of Mississippi, I propose that we start a campaign where we begin to move to the state of Mississippi. It's already have a large population of brothers and sisters there anyway. I say that all of those who are able, all of us begin to move to the state of Mississippi. Why? Because if you move to the state of Mississippi and all of us are thinking the same kind of way, then your voting power will become power, and you can vote in and put in the government whoever you want, from the local to the state and the small municipalities. You can put into power those people who represent us. And we represent, and we create an agenda for those politicians that we put into power. We support, as a nation, we support anybody who wants to go to the state of Mississippi so that we can take advantage of the voting power. So all over the country, all of our brothers and sisters who are homeless, they can find a home. We get them and support them, let them go to the state of Mississippi and get them residency in the state of Mississippi so they can begin voting. And we can win the governor's house. If you can control you don't have to worry about trying to control the politics of the whole nation. Just control the state of Mississippi. Do you know what can happen for us? Look, do you know what can happen to us, for us, if we control the state of Mississippi? The state of Mississippi is poor. It don't have to be that way. This is a sink or swim situation. Either you're going to sink or you're going to swim. I believe we can swim. There's no doubt about it. When you boycott and when you march, once you begin to take control of the political system in the state of Mississippi, your voting and your marching has power. So you can march for the death of Stephon Clark, don't mean nothing. You can march and protest because Trayvon Martin was killed, don't mean nothing. But if you control a state, if you can control if you can get into the governor house, woo, man. Do you understand? All the doors. Those of you who keep talking about, I want to build a nation. I want to build a nation. That's your beginning. The state of Mississippi opened all those doors. The beginning of your nation, the nation of Islam. This is your nation. All y'all nation builders, this is your nation. And you'll still be a part of the United States. Your lifestyle don't change. The only thing that's going to change is you get power, something you never had. You get opportunities that you've never seen before. So you want trade with Africa. All the states in the union, all the governors, all the politicians, they go back and forth to different countries trying to get business for their state. You can trade with Africa or China or whoever the hell you want to start business with. Put our people to work. You don't want to force nobody to do nothing. You go into the state of Mississippi, and we start a campaign with the brothers and sisters who are already there. We want to build a certain mentality. You can't be a nigger or a Negro trying to pull this off. Of course, everybody is not going to join you, but you got to look at it this way. You ever see dogs bark? Then all of a sudden the dog stop barking, and one stupid dog all by himself, and pretty soon he start looking around. The other dog's like, why are you barking? We shut up a long time ago. See, when you begin to make those moves, those who are against you, they're going to feel stupid. Why aren't you on board? All this is positive for us. This is something that other people talk about. This is what they want us to do. So why would they have a problem? Oh, they're going to have a problem. They're going to have a problem because they don't want us really to do good. But see, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad asked the United States government, you need to give us a few states or whatever. You know, and I know they're not going to give you nothing, so we can take it. Take it like the ants done that millipede. You're not fighting the whole United States. You just want the state of Mississippi. You want to go in and take control of the state of Mississippi. And if you take control of the state of Mississippi, you put yourself in a position to ask the United States government, say, look, you have some of our brothers and sisters in your prison systems. Look, why don't you give them to us and put them on probation, they will never leave the state of Mississippi. We'll make sure of that. And set them free. Give them to us. Give all our political prisoners, give them to us. Matter of fact, we can ask for almost anybody as a state. You can make that request. Whether they do it or not, we don't know. But as a state, give us our drug addicts. Give us our people in these prison systems. Because you're setting up a state of rehabilitation. And that's the mindset that you're creating going into the state of Mississippi. And you're going to put our people to work from the oldest to the youngest. The state of Mississippi should become something, we should create something that we're known for. And I say that we go into the earth, whatever land that is available in the state of Mississippi, we need to take advantage of it and go into the earth and grow our food organically, real organic. I'm not talking about what's classified by the United States government. If we can go into the earth and produce real organic milk, real organic chicken, real organic tomatoes, real organic everything, we can become the state of organic food. There's a big wide market all over the planet for organic, real organic food. That's what we would be known for. And that's where the strength of our business. Not only are we feeding ourselves, but we are creating an economy based on something the world wants, which is organic food. This is a team effort, and it's more and more important for the preachers and the pastors and the ministers, all those in the religious community. You must really go to work and be out in the street so that we can encourage our people to stop drinking, stop drugging, and all these other things that is hindering our progress. And while we work, when you are successful and people see what they build with their own hands, See, we need to get up out of the mentality that we're used to. When you are successful, don't mean that you have to live in a multi-million-dollar mansion. All of us, we learn how to live modestly. And the money that we would be throwing away trying to live big shot, we invested in our people. And more of our brothers and sisters can come to Mississippi and help us, and help us create the promised land that Dr. King said we would get there, but he wouldn't be able to get there with us. It's simple, y'all. Just like the ants. Just like the ants. All these doors will open for you if you can take over that state. And if you see yourself successful in that endeavor, it don't stop with Mississippi. Right next door is Alabama. Then right door after that is Georgia. You just don't know everything that you thought you wanted in life. The doors will begin to open. But it's going to take sacrifice, suffering, maybe even death. But it's worth it because freedom, justice, and equality has a price. We have to be different. We have to encourage our people to be righteous. You understand? Living a righteous life will give you heaven on earth. Mississippi will become your heaven. Alabama will become your heaven. Georgia will become your heaven. You don't have to go thousands and thousands of miles away to Africa. But when you are successful doing that, look. If you are successful in doing that, look what you can do for Africa, for those of you who love Africa. everything begins to open up. The heavens begin to open up for us. Oh, my chat room. Thank you. Thank you. Knowledge is power. Just think about it. And nobody is thinking about the state of Mississippi. It's poor. Nobody cares nothing about Mississippi. It's there for the taking. The Million Man March is wonderful. We don't want to degrade the Million Man March. We don't want to degrade justice or else. We don't want to degrade the March of 1963. But this, yo, woo, I'm jumping for joy in my seat. If we can get this and begin to pull this off, our suffering, our sojourn, our hard sojourn in America will be over. The heaven on earth that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke about will become a reality. If you want it. It's not about who gives a damn about who gets the damn credit. I don't care if I never get credit. I just want the job done. I want to be on the winning team. That's all I care about. I want to be able to go to the state of Mississippi and feel like I'm in heaven, because that's exactly what we would be doing. We would be creating heaven on earth. And everybody, and don't think, and everybody is going to copy you. Everybody else is going to want to do the same thing. But we want to be able to do it first. We have to do it first. And I believe if we do this right, like I said, there's a lot of things I want to talk about. I can't do it on a video. But if you do it right, I truly believe that our Hollywood community, our music community, our business community, brothers and sisters that would have nothing to do with Black struggle, I believe they would get on board, whether it's directly or indirectly, because they see that you are serious and you really make it move. And we're going to do this with or without you. Working together. A system of checks and balances. I also want to refer you to my video. It's going to be in the description box. Real solution for the problems of Black people in America. So we put you put that video by this video side by side. We have to organize. We have to organize, unify as a people. I know you hear it all the time. But see, don't depend on all the people. We have enough. I know that we have enough soldiers. We have enough those with sincere hearts. We can get this job done. And believe me, all the rest will follow. They really don't have too much of a choice because man, you're doing it. Those guys took over a state. Can you imagine Minister Farrakhan being the governor of the state of Mississippi? And see, this is another thing I want to tell y'all before I leave. See, once you control the state of Mississippi and you get a good grip, it don't have to stay Mississippi. We can call the state of Mississippi, we can call it New Africa. I don't care. I just want to be in heaven. Y'all can name it New Africa or whatever. So when these devils tell you, why don't you go back to Africa? I will. I'm going to New Africa. See what I'm saying? That's right. I'm going back to Africa. New Africa. Jackson, New Africa. Not Jackson, Mississippi. Jackson, New Africa. Not Tunica, Mississippi. Tunica, New Africa. Woo! The door is open for. The door is there for the taking. Just play it smart. Use the tools that your enemy gave you. By the time your enemy can respond, it's too late. You already in there and got it going on. Oh, wow. See, I'm excited. See, I know it can be done. I don't have to do a lot of research. You can see it's there for the taking. Who told you that, brother? Maybe God. God gave me a brain. Why don't you use it? Maybe God talks to me. Maybe so. Who knows? You tell me why this can't work. The reason why it can't work, because you don't want to do a damn thing. You are comfortable being a damn Negro-ass slave. That's why it won't work. Otherwise, why it can't work? Put our people to work. Nobody in the state of Mississippi, everybody will have something to do, including the babies. And the little children like to help grown folks get stuff done. Let's go to work. Be the hardest working people on the planet. Why? Because you're creating heaven. Not only are you creating heaven for yourself, you may not know this, but you are actually will be changing the reality of the world. Did you hear what I said? You and I will actually be changing the reality of the world, bringing it from hell to heaven, bringing them from wrong to right. Because you are creating a righteous environment. I thought that's what y'all wanted. Nothing involuntarily. But I can guarantee you, when people see a certain way of life, you can have fun being righteous. You can have fun working real hard. You can live a good life and don't have to be greedy, trying to buy all the houses, trying to buy all the cars. Learn how to love yourself. When you go to the state of Mississippi, when you see a black man, you see God. Can the church say amen? When you see a black man, you see God. When you see a black man, you know he got soul. He's a soul man. He's a soul man. Yes. Woo. I'm excited. I know it can be done. The best people that can get this done and be successful, who can lead the charge, because you are leaders. When I was in the Nation of Islam, I was told I was a leader. You are the leaders. You are the general. Let's go to war, general, and lead the charge. What you want to do? We're getting ready to create heaven on earth. You can take control of the state of Mississippi. That's exactly what you've done. You open the doors. And you know what you also have done? You've done the impossible. You've done the impossible, just like I did. Them Negroes would never get together. They'll never be nothing. You made people alive. You've done the impossible. And all our patriots from the past, from Malcolm to Dr. King, Elijah Muhammad, Denmark Vesey, Paul Robeson, and the list goes on and on. All of them can finally rest in peace and say, wow, they finally made it. Our children finally made it. It's time. Even your books, your holy books say and told you it's time. The only thing holding you back is ourselves. So jot down your comments. Give me some feedback. I would hope that somebody who represents the Nation of Islam or just brothers and sisters, FOI, MGT in general, come speak to your brother and let's talk about this, because I really truly feel that it's not something that makes us feel good. Because when you think about it, it should make you feel good. But it's plausible and it's possible, and it can become a reality quicker than you believe. And finally, before I take my last breath, Brother Farrakhan, before you take your last breath, maybe it's possible before they lay us down for the final time, we can really rest in peace knowing you know, they're going to be all right. And you can feel good about yourself because we had something to do with that. And we would be the greatest generation ever produced by these so-called Negroes. We will always be remembered. We created heaven on earth, and we were able to break this evil and wicked cycle that has been going on for thousands of years. We were able to destroy it once and for all, and it never raised its nasty head again. I love it. I do. I love it. I love it more than I like Terry Ellis. Come on, Terry. Come on now. So I'm out of here, y'all. Let that marinate, and let's speak about it. Let's share this video. Let's get it out here, and let's get to talking on this. If you want to debate for hours and hours and hours, debate on this. Who cares about what Elijah Muhammad did 50 years ago, Malcolm did, and what the Egyptians did 5,000 years ago? Let us debate about how we are going to change reality right now and make it better, if not for us, for our little babies that come after us. It's our responsibility as adults. Or are you the boy that the cracker call us all the time? With that said, y'all, I want to thank everybody in the chat room. I hope that my proposal was worth the wait to hear, and I think that it is. That's right. Those who dwell in the past are doomed to repeat it, says the chat room. That's true. That's why we should stop dwelling in it. Learn from the past, but don't dwell in it. Because right now, some of us are caught up in that mentality. I don't have time for it. I would like to see us successful. And when I take that final breath, I want to be able to say in my mind, they on their way. They are on their way. So to my chat room, I would like to thank everybody for participating in your comments. And I hope that you would, once the video get posted, I would hope that you would say a little something once the video get posted, because you know how it is. I don't know. I think they're starting to show the comments on these live chats later on too. But anyway, give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. And just like Don Cornelius always said in pardon, until next time, y'all, this is your brother, Soul Brother number 1, Angel Snub number 7. And I wish us love, peace, and soul. Till next time, y'all.